G'day guys, Macca with the Outer Circle, and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Scrubdown. Joined as always by my co-host, Kat.
Kind of sub-weekly uploads every couple of months.
Yeah, well, we only really do a Scrubdown when there's actually been some releases, and last week I don't think there were any releases except for like one single kit for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, and that was it. So instead we did that episode with Ryan Kimmel, because, content is content, but there's no point doing a scrub down if we can't fill it full of juicy goodness. So anyway, speaking of juicy goodness, Kat, what have you been up to in the hobby?
Not much. I put together 10 Tartarus Terminators for this event in Brisbane that is happening that I may or may not go to. Got the two squads of 5 Dark Angels, obviously. I was going to put some Dark Angels heads on them or something, but just nothing fits.
What, like the 40k Dark Angels heads or the 30k upgrade?
The 30k ones. Where the fuck would I have 40k shit in my house? Anyway, I've made the squad 200 points. I have 3 fists, 1 chain fist, and the sergeant can just swap out his power sword for a Calibanite sword, which is +1 strength.
Ooh, is that the big two-handed one?
No, that's the Terror one. The big two-handed one is HQs only. This is any character model can take it. So it's only +1 strength, but it's better than a standard sword, force sword. And it says that in the rule set that you can, if anyone has one, a power sword as part of their normal war gear, they can change it out for free. So it's a good little piece of gear to have. So yeah, it's pretty good. And I'm going to base them and undercoat them. So I've got, I'm going to be putting the 8 scouts in the army as well for 1200 points of Zone Mortalis. Give them some shotguns and melter bombs. That should be good. I've just got to find a third-party place to get them. eBay, you'd think that there'd be a crap load of plastic scouts on eBay. I can't find them with shotguns. There's those red ones, which look really, really bad. They're snapped-together, crappy ones, it seems. But there's not a lot on sale, because I thought everyone bought that freaking Games Workshop Necromunda that's not Necromunda for the sweet terrain that looks horrible. It has skulls on everything. It comes with some scouts. I thought everyone would sell the scouts, but no, apparently that's what it was about. I don't know. Anyways, I've got to get some plastic scouts from somewhere, because I've got some Puppet Wars heads to go on top of them instead of their crappy skin faces, because helmets are where it's at. And because, Zone Mortalis, helmets, void, it's me. Yeah, and that's about it. Drilling out the... and those Tartarus Terminators, actually. The side hole for the barrels is drilled out already. You just have to drill the front hole. But I found it was easier if I just drilled out the side anyway with my 1.5 drill bit, just to open it up a little bit more. It made the drilling the muzzle hole easier. So, yeah, that's what I've been up to. They're pointing their pistols at people's faces and trying to 1v1 people. What have you been up
to? Work has been flat out lately, so I've kind of lost my hobby throbby. I did, however, force myself to do some work on Magnus and Lehman Russ's bases this week on the 2 Primarchs. So that was a cool thing. I painted, they're walking up like stairs and toppled ruins of Prospero. And the bases are they're full of stuff, but they felt boring when I painted them because it was all in just like this sort of sandstone, maybe limestone kind of coloration with like whites. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll paint like the obelisk on the base and the edges of like the stairs up Magnus's base in a green. So I did that, and the green looked nice on the white, but it just seemed really flat and boring. So I was like, how the fuck do I do this? So what I came up with was using like purple and deep scarlet and airbrushing it on in certain parts, and then using a grey as a highlighting colour and highlighting the edges of like the obelisks and the stairs. And that worked fucking amazing. Like in person, it's really hard to capture on camera, but in person it looks fucking great. It's a great effect. Purple and red on green makes a much richer looking green. So, because the only reason I even gave that a shot was because I read somewhere ages ago that a purple wash on like a green cloak looks really good, and I thought, oh fuck, why don't I try that? Because like worst case, I just strip the base and start over, right? And yeah, it worked out really well. So I did more work on Russ. I got him to the point where I'm happy to say he's finished for now. He's beyond tabletop standard, but with the Primarchs and knowing that like my skills are always advancing, I would like to revisit them every year or two and do a bit more to them to try and bring them in line with where my skills are now at. And I just get the feeling that that's what I'm going to have to do with Liam and Russ. Magnus himself, I have not done much on. I've also got the 40k Magnus, and I haven't done too much on him either, apart from replace that giant Quagmire wanking arm of his. I've painted like the base colours. I'm just looking at him on my shelf, so sorry if I move away from the mic, but I've done like base colours for all his wings and his skin, face, that kind of thing, but I haven't gone further and highlighted anything. I haven't added any decals to him. I haven't done any of his armour plating, so he's really bland at the moment. Conrad Kurz is on the way in the mail to me. Korax, funny enough. Did I ever tell you what happened with Korax, Kat?
Yeah, he came. Wait, didn't you? You did a Korax with someone that had a fucked bolter or something. Had a fucked gun.
You
sold that one, didn't you? Or did it to someone?
I painted a Korax on commission for Dean Morris because I painted the rest of his Raven Guard. They were once my Raven Guard, so he wanted the Korax to fit in. And when his Korax arrived to me, it was pretty nailed up in the mail. Because obviously, Korax's wings are super fragile. So he came and like all his wings were just shattered. And he was like the gun that he holds, the pistol in his left hand, was snapped off. So I said to him like, look, here's the situation. Showed him like pictures of it. Can I go ahead and make him like the Istvan version of Korax? And he's like, yeah, man. So that's what I did. I gave him a heavy bolter instead and worked on him. Also, most of his lightning claws were snapped off, so pretty unsalvageable. I ordered my own Korax. It arrives in the mail. Australia Post, being the wonderful fucking useless cunts they are, grabbed Korax in his box and forced it through the letter slot on my mailbox. And the letter slot's only about as thick as your finger. The Korax is thicker than that with all his parts. So he got fucked up. I go down the post office, I'm like, look, I'd never complained to you before, I get models all the time, but look, here's what's happened to this model. And these people at the post office are looking at it, they're like, oh, well, that's just obviously been packaged poorly. And I'm like, fucking what? You put it through the fucking letter slot. It is clearly a parcel, a package that says fragile, and you've just crushed it and forced it through the fucking letter slot, you useless cunts. So they'll go, oh, well, you can fill out this damage report, you know, and it'll go off. So I filled that out 3 months ago, still haven't heard back. And they take away the model as evidence, and I still haven't got the model back. So, yeah, Korax sitting with Australia Post somewhere, collecting dust in a depot.
I've got a cool postage meme. I redirected my mail from my house. It only lasts about 3 months, but whatever, I knew I had packages coming, so I redirected the mail. And I never got the packages, so I was just like, well, they've obviously haven't done their thing. I called them up, I'm like, hey, you didn't do this thing? And they're like, yeah, we didn't. Well, why did I pay for it then? And they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
and
not only do I
mount
the money for the packages, and the packages, did I mount the money? It's like, will you reimburse me the money for the fucking redirection of the mail? It's like, no. Okay. Cool. Fucking useless motherfuckers.
I would be on the ombudsman about that one. The CEO...
That's what we call a shotgun.
The CEO of Australia Post, the old one that's just gone. He was on, for people who don't know, he was on like this ridiculous amount of money, like over $4 million a year to run the Australian Post Office. And it was fucked. Like mail services got worse in his time in office, and his pages kept going up, and eventually public pressure got so bad on him that he's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to quit. So the mail service is still fucked, and he's got like this massive golden handshake, like something like 16 or 18 million in his time in charge of Australia Post. And all he did in his time was just fired employees, cut down the amount of mail deliveries, and lost heaps of packages. So yeah, big fucking win for that guy. Why can't we get a job like that, Kat?
We do. Well, if you're happy with payments of memes by our sweet listeners, then yeah. We're on memes.
Speaking of memes money, so the viewers, obviously, I've told them before, when I introduced ads onto our YouTube, was not because we wanted to necessarily make a profit, but it's the only way we're going to actually be able to afford to give back to our fans. So, like, the first month's ad revenue, I did a giveaway to our subscribers with the money. So one very lucky person, I think they were in like Finland or Sweden, one of those countries that doesn't get involved in world wars. And so
what?
Well, like Sweden stayed out of World War 1 and 2, and I think Finland only got dragged in because they were pissed off at the Russians after the Finnish War. Anyway, so he's from one of those countries. He got a sweet fucking voucher for like GW stuff. I emailed him like a voucher, and he was pretty happy about that. This month, I used some of the ad revenue to buy one of the products, which we'll go over. Oh, may as well go over it right now, Kat. The Games Workshop Citadel brand butt plug.
Are you serious? You bought that?
I bought that without
I never
revenue.
I never get involved in this shit.
I will probably also turn it into a subscriber giveaway after I review it.
I remember you saying something about it. You're going to review it. Jesus, I don't think anyone's going to want it after you review it, man.
No, they're not, probably, but yeah. So, obviously, $13 in Australia. This is pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. So, hey, Kat, can I ask...
Is that the cheapest product on their site, other than a pot of paint?
Well, you can see this product is holding up a, like, Primaris Marine, okay? Doesn't that Primaris Marine cost more than this butt plug?
Yes.
So the butt plug is a large piece of plastic that's been molded in an injection molding machine, assembled by someone, has multiple moving parts, and the model costs more.
Supply and demand, I suppose.
Really?
Well, I don't think people are knocking down the fucking doors to get...
yeah, but normally things that people don't
Well,
want
then here's the fucking
more.
answer to you. Have a fucking army of butt plugs.
Well, it is a Citadel miniature. That means I can enter it into armies on parade. A whole bunch of these on clear base next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My goodness, I'm just drinking scotch with a little bit of water in it.
So,
I've been trying to learn how to drink scotch better, and it burns. I should probably drink scotch and not fucking gasoline. But anyway,
well, you've seen me. I always drink my scotch neat.
No, you don't. Not always. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, if it's the cheap stuff, I'll mix it with Coke. That's because it's cheap stuff. Like when I drink my 12-year Glenmorangie and stuff like that, like my Quinta Reuben, I always drink that just straight over a little bit of ice.
Well, there's your fucking problem. Ice fucking destroys it.
It destroys the flavour. Yes, I know.
Fucking makes it.
But
it's
well fucking hot in Australia. Leave me alone. Because I only get it out at Christmas time.
Ooh-la-dee-da, Mr. Frenchman.
Yes. So, Citadel butt plug has something to do with the Citadel Paint app, which you download for free. I don't know why, but they've tagged a picture of that on at the end of the butt plug. Apparently, it locks tightly onto 25, 32, 40 millimeter sphincters, as well as fitting 60 by 35 oval bases.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I hurt my neck. Oh, no. Oh, I got whiplash. Jesus. Ah, fucking hell.
Sphincter.
Why did they? Oh my goodness.
Well,
Could you put that on a rifle, do you think? On some Picatinny?
oh, it's
Have a
like a little ball-shaped foregrip.
few. Yeah.
No, it's a BFA, mate. You put it over the end of the barrel.
I don't
Just
know.
clamps around the
No,
flash
I don't
suppressor.
think- Yeah, it could be a muzzle brake, maybe.
You turn it into like a rifle grenade butt plug. You don't want to be the enemy on the receiving end of that thing. What do you say about this thing? I know how I'm
I
gonna
could see
review
it to be on a rifle. The foregrip was just like a small little to help your C grip or something, or I reckon it could.
It's
like
interesting that it's like angular in shape and not smooth. Or textured. Like, I could imagine it being completely smooth, like a real butt plug, or having a texture on it, like, say, I don't know, like the knurling on a pistol grip, for example. Or like a sandpapery type texture to the surface of it.
Yeah, well, you could do that aftermarket. Just get a soldering iron and fucking put some little dots in it, or put grip tape on there, or fucking sandpaper tape on there.
Suppose.
If you really, that'd be fucked though. Like if you're holding onto that for a 4 to 8 hour painting session, and you got some sweet like sandpaper on there, that's gonna get old after a while. I don't think it'd be going anywhere. You still got more surface area than like holding onto a little base, but it's, I don't know, putting it on a piece of wood seems to work fine for me. So whatever.
Is that model that's blue that's being held in it painted? That dude's got the fine detail brush. He's got no paint on the brush.
Yeah,
And the
because
model
it's the
is
new craze,
bare
man.
plastic.
Because
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of,
clear
like-
basing.
Oh,
Clear basing was
Now
the
we've got
thing.
clear
Now clear
modelling.
paint. All you do is you just put it on a
clear,
base.
to
Yeah,
me,
that's
clear
it.
paint.
Easy. It's still painted. It's still painted. If you paint it with a satin, a matte, and a high gloss
There's your three.
finish, there's your
paints.
3 colours, man. There's your 3 colours. You're good to go. You get your painting score. You can get your best general.
Oh, I just saw that some fucking kid at Games Workshop Churnside won a prize for his unpainted fucking Armies on Parade entry, so that's fucking neat. So I guess that is a thing that we're awarding now. No, the reason I joke about it though is because like this is a meme waiting to happen. Like swap that model out for something else.
Well, yeah. Speaking of memes, maybe we could go over the dude.
Oh, Gav Thorpe.
Yeah, the Dark Angels. Yes, Gav Thorpe.
Oh, we'll save it. We'll keep reviewing Games Workshop stuff. We'll come back to it. Okay, so Games Workshop released Tyrannid stuff. Nobody gives a fuck because Tyrannids are never in a good place. All their sculpts are. Fuck. When was the last time, apart from a couple monstrous creatures, they got new sculpts? 4th edition.
No.
Hive Tyrant was 4th edition. Carnifex was 4th edition.
Oh,
all the infantry they've got were 4th edition, I think.
Yeah, but they got the big monsters and stuff.
Well, they got the Trigon in 5th, and the Morlock in 5th, and the...
They got a fair few things in 5th.
What was that big fat fucking Turvagon? That was 5th.
Oh, I remember 5th. There was like special character that could like stab a dude.
They didn't get new
put a
characters.
Termagant
New models. They just got new rules.
No.
They're pretty much Chaos Space Marines. They got all their kits back when the game was good, and now they just get codex updates. And someone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, but like they got the Hasperex or something in the last fucking edition." No one gives a fuck. No one's like, "Oh, I can't wait to play Tyranids because of the Hasperex model." It's fucking cool.
In 8th edition.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I had 3 more Pyrovores. Fuck, that thing's terrible. Alright, so Tyranids are bust. I like Tyranids. I like Tyranid players. I just wish they got shown a bit of love because they're one of those like really awesome factions in 40k that they're not more of the same like other factions are, where it's like Eldar and Dark Eldar, they're all kind of similar, and all the different Marine factions are really similar. And then you got Tyranids, which is just completely fucking different. And just, yeah, I don't know. Am I wrong to like them, Kat?
Yes.
No. Fair enough then. Citadel painting accessories. So, a piece of plastic, a paint pot, and a butt plug. Oh, that's possibly actually not a paint pot. That's actually a semen sample collector from after use with the butt plug. Or a lubricant receptacle. Don't blame me, people. Blame Games Workshop for making it.
So I don't know why they came out with that, with the April Fool's thing, I think it was, where they said, oh, now you've got Citadel Water, or whatever the fuck they called it. Citadel Water or something? But they legitimately have a fucking water pot for fuck loads of money.
Actually, what gave me a laugh was years back when I was on Outer Circle, on Galaxy Flames before Outer Circle, sorry. I did a thing for it wasn't even April Fool's, but they released the Games Workshop airbrush paints. And I just got a picture of some airbrush setup, some cheap airbrush setup, and then put Games Workshop overlay around it and made it look like it was for sale on their website for a ridiculous amount of money, $1,000 for a basic airbrush. And people are sharing it holy crap, Games Workshop's doing airbrushes, but it's a bit expensive.
Yeah, I did the same thing for a poison control recall on their paints, and just got me in a lot of trouble. But it was still funny. Still funny.
If I remember, I'm going to come back to this episode when I'm editing it and put in the picture of that airbrush setup with some ridiculous fucking amount of money too. Okay, so there's a Warhammer 40,000 battle journal. What's all this about?
It's just a book of blank pages.
Every general learns from experience, and this 200-page notebook is the perfect way to track your gaming experiences Warhammer 40k. I think something like this would be great for Necromunda, or Mordheim, or maybe Blood Bowl. Not so much for 40k, because generally my 40k experiences over the last 10 years boil down to I rocked up with Chaos, he rocked up with Necrons. He then inserted forcefully his penis into my asshole, and there was nothing I could do about it. I don't need to record that. That is not something you forget. Is that too dark, Kat? Because that's what it was like playing Necrons.
I was going to say it's a cool novelty, actually, but that might be the Scotch taking effect. Let's have ideal for tournament play or individual games. Wait, what? So is it ideal for tournament play or individual games? There's both
what are the experiences you're
spectrum
learning in individual games?
I guess because you've proxied everything on clear bases. I don't know. The battle journal will become a valuable record of all your past victories and defeats and a trusted ally on any battlefield until next year where they release 9th edition, right?
Ooh, snap. I don't know, for $40 that's a bit... If that was $12, I'd think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a bit much. I reckon you could...
I suppose it's
you could go to Office
page.
Works.
You can make one.
But you go to Office Works, you could make one a hell of a lot cheaper. And it'd be a binder. And that means you're not locked in, so you can rip out a page in this, and it's going to look like someone's ripped out a page, right? If you want to be a real fucking MLG player, you can just have one recorded all victories and fake victories at that. So you don't even need to play a game. Look at that. Fuck. Quick games are a good game, right? No games are the quickest game. So just make up a whole fucking... There we go. There's our new product for our shop. Macca, fucking wanna be a badass 8th edition player, but don't want to actually go out and play any fucking games? Buy this. It's got with 350 recorded games that you've never actually played. Show all your friends. Be the envy of every fucking nerd in a fucking GW store. I don't know. Too much, probably.
Yeah, probably. Green Citadel tape measure. So this
Used
is
to be
the
red.
same as the orange and red one they had?
Yeah, it's olive drab. I've got one of those things. Someone left one at my house, and it's retracts all the way back into the tape measure. You can't get it out. It's pretty bad.
Oh, nice. I have Milwaukee tape measure from work. And I often
I've got
that around with me because they're good.
Yeah, there's some solid ones. They cost half the cost, and you could like use it as a weapon.
Oh, my Milwaukee one costs like twice as much, but it won't break on me. And it's magnetic as well, so like that comes in handy sometimes.
With the other magnetic, if anyone's magnetized weapons on their shit, you can just take their arms off.
Yeah,
and
pretty
be like,
much. It's for trolling, but still. Alright, so there's another
Death Guard
journal.
green colored. I thought it was an olive drab. There you go. It's a Death Guard green. Look out.
Oh, jeez. But it's not rotten like their other stuff. Warhammer Age of Sigmar Battle Journals. So same thing as the 40k one, but they changed the font. Again, if it was $12...
It's yeah. You know what? I think they're getting ready for Christmas. These things are pretty much ideal Christmas presents, I guess, for somebody who doesn't want to go over a $50 limit. Don't know what to get the person, but it's pretty. Do they play Age of Sigmar or do they play Warhammer? It doesn't matter because they're pretty much the same fucking game anyway. Do they like black or blue? There's a better fucking question.
Well, in this case, actually, it's a shade of grey, I would say, and blue.
I'd say it's black, right? Like that grey. That's not a grey.
That's
It
a
has-
grey. That's at least one of 50 different shades of grey.
Jesus.
But
Well,
but blood.
it looks like it's exactly the same fucking thing.
Alright, there's some terrain here. Sector Mechanicus Hive Shield. Hey. That's kind of cool. That's neat. You know, there's a bunch of
For
pipes.
350 fucking bucks, it's not.
No, it's not. Is that cheaper? I don't know. I can't be fucked adding it all up. That
I
might-
think those generators were 110. I don't know how much the pipes were.
The pipes are like 50 fucking bucks in Australia. A ridiculous amount for just pipes. There's the Citadel of the Everchosen for those who have too much money and not enough common sense. That's probably the best way I can describe that, because that is atrociously overpriced. Like, remember the old Citadel Fortress? Kind of like that grey fantasy castle.
yep,
piece or something?
yep.
That was like $100.
Oh.
And granted, this thing's like 3 times the size of that, but still, Jesus. That's fucking expensive.
$1,120. Oh, what do you get? You get a fair amount of shit in there.
You do.
No,
You do. You
Not
get enough to...
$1,120.
Yeah, that's the problem. It creates a Chaos Star-shaped fortress.
Okay.
Seems
it's
like a
pretty
really ineffective way of building a fortress. Like, in real life, we make similar fortresses to this, like that French General de Vauban. De Vauban? I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm not fucking French. I'm not a cheese-eating surrender monkey. But yeah, like those little bridges that go out to the towers. Anyone sieging that would just cut off those bridges, and then the people in the towers are fucked. So, because they got no supplies, right? So eventually they're just gonna have to give up or get out. Yeah, no, that doesn't do it for me. All right, what about the Ultimate Paint Collection? $1,623 for 6 paint brushes, one little technical paint application tool, a paint pot, a single miniature holder, a Citadel piece of injection molded plastic for putting your paints on. It looks like some bases and some stuff to base it with. Huh. It's almost like Games Workshop wants people to base their models and not clear base. Jeez, that's strange. Who would do that? The monsters. And how many paints do you get? 188 pots of paint.
I don't know the maths on that, but it's bad.
I'm opening up the Combat Company. Who, full disclosure, we're friends with the guys that run this place. Don't hold that against them. I'm going to look under Hobby, Paint and Paint Sets. Let's pick Vallejo. Vallejo is probably the biggest paint people, right? Realistically. So, I can get 72 paints from Vallejo for $349.99. and they're 17mm paint pots. Games Workshop's are 12mm. So I'm getting an extra 30% paint. So 2 Vallejo suitcases of paint that come with 3 brushes as well would give me 144 paints with an extra 30% paint over Games Workshop, and it would cost me about 700 Australian dollars. So for twice that amount of money, I'd get an extra 40 pots of paint, basically. I'm going to say no, Games Workshop, on that one. That would be what I call a really, really bad deal.
Yeah, well, it's clearly for the Christmas period. This is coming out, so they can sell it to cunts.
For what? Fucking Russian oligarchs?
I don't know, some cunts don't know what the fuck their kids want. They want to surprise them, give them stupid
Who the
shit
fuck's
money.
buying that? The people who have this kind of money are not buying their kids Warhammer. They're buying their kids PlayStations. Or possibly
Sure
a
those kids
fucking
already have
pony.
stuff. For the kid that has everything, haha, there's a fucking Citadel layer paint set for 420. Well,
Alright, so hang on, let me try and... So, this Vallejo basic set. 72 colours, 3 paintbrushes included. A little book on like their paint range and that kind of thing. All comes in a suitcase as well. What's the closest to that the Games Workshop sells? The layer paint set? Alright. So 76, so there's an extra 4 pots of paint. And it's $100 more. And has no brushes included. Vallejo,
oh look, there's a
though,
textured painting and base set. Oh,
but mind you, the Vallejo... Oh, what cat is it? Not just a bottle of
no, there's no fucking clear.
gloss fucking
I
varnish?
think you do get a gloss.
Alright, so hang on. So the Vallejo set, $349. I get 30% more paint, though, in my pots. There's just... You can't compare the two. One's awesome dropper pots in heaps of... Because Vallejo paints are really good. What about AK? Let me go have a look and see what AK is selling their paints for. I know Army Paint is dirt cheap. I've got a set of Army Painter paints here. I bought Mega Paint Set 2, I think it was. Something like that. From Army Painter. They're all like the same cost anyway. And that's $179 for Mega Paint Set 3. And that comes with about 50 paints. AK has like a lot of small sets for like painting, like, you know, just one tank or that kind of thing. Ooh, acrylic paint sets, that's what I should click on.
I don't think anyone's under any illusion that it's overpriced.
Yeah, but it's so much that's overpriced, but it's like, what else is out there? I think we owe it to our viewers to see, you know, what could you get for that kind of money?
I think for $1,600 they could get a hell of a lot more. Like
Or they could buy a Vallejo paint set and that Citadel of the Everchosen to paint it with for the same price as Games Workshop's paint set. How's that for a fucking answer? Alright, so AK's sets are sold more for individual styles of vehicle, at least through Combat Company. It might be different on their webpage. What about Miniature? Badger Miniature. Miniature starter set. Oh, I like their paints. I don't like their metallics. I like their flat colours. Really good. The standard layers. Miniature. They're 30mm pots, so they're 3 times. No, sorry, 3 times. So yeah, 3 times the size of Games Workshop paints. So you get 3 times the amount of paint per pot, and their dropper bottles as well. And you get 12 paints for $39. So that's, for $39 is the equivalent of buying 36 paints from GW. And how many paints in the GW layer set? 36. So I could spend $80 with Miniature and get the same amount of paint as I would get in Games Workshop's layer set. And it would cost me 1/5 of the money. So there you go, viewers. We're not just being snarky, I'm giving you alternatives here.
Yeah, if you want an alternative to the big fucking fantasy bullshit, go to gamemat.eu, get the medieval castle set for 129 US. Probably build a big fucking Chaos Star if you're going to spend the same amount of money. They do have the STC pattern ruins. Razor pattern ruin things. You know, the ruin shit that you liked?
Yes,
You were
Riser
asking for
pattern.
It's $49. That's still probably $49 too much.
Fuck, I need to go back to that episode because I said, quote me on how much they're going to charge for it. I'm pretty sure I said in that episode. Now people get to tell me I was wrong. I think I said $50. Fuck. Hope I did. Or I'm gonna
Pretty
come
sure
off
I
like
said
an
$200.
idiot. It does sound like you.
But you would need to spend $200 to make it
There's
any sort of.
fuck all in it, isn't there?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like, that's enough ruins for, like, a quarter of a table? Like a 2x2 square, maybe? Oh, there's a Chaos Dreadhold ruined wall. So hang on, you can buy the Dreadhold. There's that big... Yeah, the Citadel of the Everchosen. So you can get that massive castle. But the castle doesn't come with the ruins, cat. So you still got to pay extra. It's not even an all-inclusive package.
Yeah, you only get the big star thing. I don't know. These are the destroyed ones, right? The ruins. So this is after the fact.
That's fucking funny. I'm sorry. So yeah. Oh, it's a Citadel painting mat. By the way, that plastic injection molded.
Oh, so it's like a piece of rubber then.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. Flexible silicone mat. There you go.
Silicone based.
There's a bunch of random armies as well that have been put together. There's a Greenskins army. So is this them like trying to clear out their stock of old miniatures they no longer want to sell?
Whoa, look at that shit. There's some old goblins, man. Or are they still current goblin models? I don't know.
They're current goblins, but that's because they don't want to invest in goblins. They want to invest in rooks, like the copyright-friendly version of orcs.
Yeah.
So, because like if I want like cool-looking orc stuff, I'll go to Cromlech. Cromlech does like all the cool orc stuff for me. Cybor also does some cool orc stuff. So yeah, I do not immediately go, oh wow, Games Workshop orcs, they're the bestest. That time is long past. Seraphon army, that's the lizard men. That's a thing. Fire Slayer army. Gives you a good idea of how much like old miniatures and new miniatures go for, because that Slayer army, like the Slayers are the same size as those goblins. Look how many models are in that goblins pack. There's a chariot, some boar boys, bunch of orc boys, some fanatics, some goblins on foot, and then like that Fire Slayer army has like half the model count, and it costs more. Like when people talk about the whole 8th edition's being heaps successful because look how much money Games Workshop's made and look at their share price. Like our friend James, Kiwi James, works in sales for a living for some pretty big companies. And he was going through it and he's like, yeah, it's the margins have changed. And like, if anyone knows anything about finance, it's like basically Games Workshop is selling less models, but for so much more money that it's covering their costs and giving them excess profit. So it's not that 8th edition's a runaway success, it's that, funny enough, a box of Primaris Marines that costs twice the same as a fucking box of Tactical Marines is worth more money to them. Shock horror. The outpost of Pithos 4 is some of the worst fucking terrain I've ever seen. That Eldar terrain is just... That is like fucking Bolton made it.
But you know it's a Bolton, right?
No, there's no fucking baby dolls or human feces in it, I think. No, because you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like when... like really old tutorials for making terrain that people would do, where it's like, oh, you just get some coat hangers and then like wrap them in like PVA glue soaked newspaper and then dry brush it. That's what that fucking terrain looks like. It's exactly what these trees all look like. It just looks fucking bad. Ugh, I hate that. Deathwatch Army. That's not an army. That's like 15 models. Wait, one. That's 13 models. Fuck. That's not an army. That's fucking disgusting.
Nah, it says the starter set. Deathwatch set. This contains 12 miniatures. Okay, that's all. It just says it contains 12 miniatures. A watch captain, armators, 2 sets of 5 Deathwatch Space Marines, a venerable dreadnought, and a Deathwatch upgrade sprue.
Yeah, Cat. So how can it contain 12 miniatures if there's 13?
12. So you get Artemis, which is 1, and 2 sets of 5, so that's 11. Deathwatch Space Marine, 12. A venerable dreadnought, 13. What the fuck?
And a Corvus Blackstar actually takes it to 14.
No, sorry, say again. Wait, what? What? So it's got Deathwatch Artemis, so it's 1. 2 sets of 5 Deathwatch Space Marines, it's 11. Venerable dreadnought, 12. And a Deathwatch upgrade sprue. Yes, it's 12.
But it also has a Corvus Blackstar and a Watchmaster, so that's 14.
Oh, okay. Okay, whatever.
Oh, whatever. I get it. No, what it is, it's actually a bundle that contains sub-bundles. So one of these sub-bundles is the Start Collecting Deathwatch, which contains 12 miniatures.
Ah, so it's like bundle fucking...
Bundle Inception. Bundleception.
Yeah, right. So it's very meta. It's crazy.
But it's still shit value for money. So
meta in the sense that it's conceited as fuck.
Yeah. So, well, look at that Necron army. The Necron army is twice the fucking size of that, but the same price. Because what's the Necron's got? A couple of Scarab Swarms, some Triarchs.
Immortals.
Stalker, Immortals, set of Warriors, set of Destroyers. So there's way more shit in that Necron box. Same price. What about the Hosts of Slanesh army? 2 chariots. Well, in a way, I think this is a good thing. Can I spin this into a positive? There's something the fucking viewers won't expect. Bunch of little SLBs. Quiet, Gabbo. It's good that they're selling them for the same price, because that means people who might be normally wanting a faction but go, oh, it's just so much more expensive than another faction, will be at least drawn to it. Did that make sense at all? Like, if you saw a Host of Slanesh army with like 40 models in it, and then you saw a Deathwatch army and the Host of Slanesh costs twice as much, you'd probably be like, it's just too much money. But at least if they're the same, people will then have a legitimate choice. Does that make sense?
I guess, but like, shouldn't it just be on value? I don't know. It seems kind of stupid. 12 miniatures are the same as fucking 50. Okay.
It does seem stupid, but I mean, if the 50 is discounted down instead of the Deathwatch army being, what's the opposite of discount? Inflated. That sounds right. Then it's not such a bad thing. Hmm. Yeah, okay. That's Games Workshop for you. Don't want to talk about the books because, well, the books are very mediocre these days. They just seem to be like the fan service of the hour in many cases. There's Dark Millennium playing cards, Cat.
Oh,
And a Black Library Calendar 2018. Covered in pictures of New Marines and Robuta Gilliman. Alright, let's look at the Dark Millennium playing cards first. What are they? Oh, that's cool. That's actually cool. I like that. 54 bridge-sized playing cards divide into 4 suits: Imperium, Chaos, Mechanicus, and Xenos, including 2 Jokers. If one Joker has to be a picture of Matt Ward. And they're created by John Blanche, your mate John Blanche, exclusively for these cards. Each illustration perfectly captures the gothic darkness of Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah, right. That's pretty good. I didn't think it'd be that. That's pretty cool.
I actually want a set of that.
For $20.
Damn it, I've already ordered the butt plug though, and I'm not paying for an extra set of shipping. Well. And I don't want to give money to Games Workshop just for something personal for me, because I made that pledge after how bad their price gouging is. So I'm in a bit of a quandary here. Fuck. Alright, Black Library Calendar. No pictures of what's inside it. So we've just got to go off the fact that the cover is a bunch of Plague Marines getting the shit beat out of them by the Spiritual Liege and the Chosen Sons. Kat, do you want to buy Black Library Calendar 2018?
No, thanks.
What would you rather buy instead?
For $28, I don't know. Burn $28.
Maybe like 2 bags of goon.
Don't drink goon, but yeah, I could buy some wine for sure. It was like there'd be like $2. What you could? Sometimes they even $7, $10 for like a good fucking 2017 Shiraz or something. Maybe.
I'm more of a white wine drinker.
Yeah.
I'm going to Rutherglen in January on holidays with the missus. So taking the woofer out there, she's going to go explore the vineyards. We have a lovely doggo at home for viewers who don't know. She's a gorgeous, gorgeous girl. And she's going to head out to a different part of the Australian countryside. See, where I live, it's like horrible and frosty. But there's some nice woods in that, whereas out Rutherglen way, it's like where some of the best wineries in Australia are. So that's where we're going. It's going to be nice.
Yep, I'm pretty sure there'll be a hell of a lot better things. Food, wine, fucking, I don't know, crack for $28 rather than Black Library Calendar. Fuck out of here. But how will you know the date? What if they have a digital copy of this thing?
The digital copy will cost just as much, because that's how Games Workshop rolls.
Yeah, man.
Jane Czar. Oh, wow. I can't wait to open that book. See, the problem with the Eldar, Cat, is they don't give a fuck about the Eldar. They don't want to focus on like all those classic characters. It's great that the novels do, but most of the people who are invested in the game, that's no good to them. Because the game's like, yeah, fuck your Exarchs, fuck your Aspects, come play Yannari, Eldar. Tyranids, they've got an E-Codex. Their E-Codex is only $54. The digital enhanced version is $70. The collector's edition is $140. Codex Tyranids on its own is $70 in hardback. So
Jesus.
that's $15 more than an ebook version. It's better. They used to be the same price a while back.
Oh, sorry, the collector's edition is $140.
I'll hand it to him though. That Tyranid's army is a cool starter, but oh, is this like the? Is in? Where's the synapse? There's no synapse in this Tyranid army.
Probably don't use any synapse, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it was such a failure.
I'm
in
pretty sure
6th
the
and 7th.
fucking big Broodlord boy is synapse, and so is Trigun boy.
Broodlord's a synapse? You
They
know, back
probably
when
changed
Tyranids
it
were
too.
cool, like really cool, was 4th edition. That was when all the codexes were cool, because they all had heaps of variety. Because that was when, like, you can make your own guard army with, like, 3 different, like, kind of like how militia work now in 30k provenances. In 4th edition guard,
Yeah, that
you could
was sick.
take, like, you can make them airborne, you could make them all stormtroopers and things like that. Marines had the same sort of thing. You can make them, like, I had a like a White Scars army, so everyone was on bikes, and I had apothecaries as sergeants. That was like the disciplines I used. Chaos had, of course, the 3.5 decks. Everyone says it was broken, but it was broken when it first came out, 3.5, but as soon as all those other codexes came out around it, it really balanced the power levels out quite a bit. Gene Stealers, for example, holy fuck were they terrifying in 4th edition, because you could have a Gene... Because this is when they introduced the Broodlord. So it's a Broodlord HQ and an army of Gene Stealers, and they'd all infiltrate within like 12 inches of you. And the first turn was fucking terrifying. Because you just can't kill them all. You can't kill all the Gene Stealers before they're into you, and once they're into you, whatever units they touch die. Fuck, 4th edition was good.
Yeah, man.
Eldar were good as well. Like most of Eldar's range that is there now came out in 4th edition. What else was good in 4th? 4th edition was where we first saw the Grey Knights as a standalone codex, and they were tough, but they weren't broken like they became in the Ward era, because it was like, yeah, they're basically still Marines. And yeah, you could have Terminators as troops, but they weren't like 2 wound, feel no pain Terminators, pissing psychic powers like Hammerhand. It was just, you're paying for Marines with power weapons. Good luck. You're going to have to be really low on model count. Genuinely nostalgic for that time period. What about for your $28, Kate? You can buy 2 of those Citadel green tape measures instead of the Black Library calendar.
You'll need more than 2. They'll both break within a couple of days.
No faith. What about the Sector Mechanicus Hive Shield? You ever going to buy one of those?
No, I thought about getting one from China, because like apparently they're a thing with fuck getting people shield generators on a table. I mean, get fucked.
What about the paint sets? Any of those actually take your fancy?
Fuck no. Can't believe the textured paint and base set. That should be like $55. I would have considered it for the bird skulls or whatever in there. Maybe.
It comes with a big hard case to store it all in, though. Like, drop that out drop that out of the bundle. Drop the big hard black case out of the bundle and see how cheap you can get it, Games Workshop. You get that below $80, maybe $70 and below, and you'd sell a ton of them. That's free fucking advice, because that's just a waste of that big black tub, and that's probably what most of the price is coming from.
I don't know, man. They think
Most of the justification of the price.
Clear basing is the new thing, apparently.
Well, it's not. It's cancer. Alright, so, I don't have anything else for our viewers, Kat, do you?
Yeah, the fucking
Forge
World.
Yes.
So they the Horus Heresy book got delayed. That's about it. There was supposed to be a fucking standalone rulebook for Heresy. It was supposed to come out the 3rd or whatever of November, and it never did. They came out with it's been delayed instead, so which is good, because I said I made a post saying that they were just going to push it out like book 7, but they obviously looked at it and they said, from rumours that we have heard, they looked at it and they weren't happy with the quality, the print quality, or the.
Which is ironic since they chose to get it printed in England, not in China.
Yeah. They'll get wrecked. But it's good that they've said we've made a mistake. That's honestly good that they said we've made a mistake. We're going to try and fix it. Sorry. That's good.
It is
That's
good. Also,
that's
we
a
need
good
to
thing.
spread the good word. The book is to be referred to as the Holy Bible, in memory of Alan Bly. The Bible. Let's hope it's a good book, or else we're really going to be shitting on his memory.
No, it's just 7th with the new hat.
It can't be any worse than 8th edition. Alright. Thanks everyone for watching the episode. Any last words, Kat?
I got nothing. I
Yeah.
got nothing at all.
Yeah, it's one of those weeks. Thanks, guys. We'll see you all next time.